Well, hello, everybody. I'm Pastor Michael, lead pastor here at Emmanuel, and I am now going to give you a long awaited update on where we are at in terms of reopening our church building for Sunday mornings here at Emmanuel. So, if you were at the business meeting that we had on July the 9th, you would have already heard most of this information. But for those of you who weren't, and for those who are curious if there's been any updates since then, I just wanted to share a couple things. First of all, we did a survey of the congregation, and we're really thankful for all of you who filled out those surveys. I apologize if you didn't get the survey. Apparently, it may have gone to some people's email junk box. And so I apologize for that. But thank you. I think we had about 80 people that filled out surveys in a very short period of time, and that was really appreciated. And we listened to your feedback when it came to making decisions. So there's a lot of things we could talk about regarding the survey results, but one of the key findings was that 75% of you said that you like the online services, but you miss meeting together in person. And I feel you right there. I miss meeting together as well, but I also do enjoy the online services. So three-quarters of you are enjoying the online services. That's really encouraging for us. We're putting a lot of time and effort into trying to make them as good as they can be. 32%, about a third of you said in some ways you actually like the online services better than meeting in person, and I can understand that too. There's been some moments when I've kind of appreciated the fact that Sunday morning hasn't been completely tied up with being together in the building. So I get if you're feeling that way. That's a totally normal and understandable way to feel. So anyway, all that to say, there's been a lot of positive response to the online services. The other question was, should we reopen immediately? And to that question, 58% of those who filled out the surveys said no, we should not reopen immediately. 27% said they were unsure, and 15% said yes. So, in other words, 85% of the congregation said that we should not open immediately, or at least that they're unsure if we should open immediately. And only 15% of the congregation that filled out the surveys said we should reopen immediately. Of course, and I say open, our church has never been closed. The church is not the building, the church is the people, and we are still actively doing ministry and continuing to worship our God and study His Word together. So we're doing all the things that a church does, except we're just not gathering together on Sunday mornings in the building. However, so 85% of you did not say yes, we need to immediately reopen the building, and I thought I was kind of surprised actually that number was that high, but it was affirming and reassuring for us in leadership to know that we're kind of on the right track right now with keeping the building closed for the time being. Health and safety really is a top priority, and so it's really important that we take that seriously. So the current plan then, and I say current because plans these days change very quickly, but our current plan is that through the month of August, we will continue doing online services exclusively. However, we've also started making DVD copies available of the online services because there are several people, not a ton, but several enough people who don't have access to the internet, who have requested that they get copies of the service on DVD so that they can watch it. So that's happening. If you want a DVD copy of a service on Sunday because you can't get the services online, then let us know here at the office, and we'll make sure that you can get a copy of the service. And if you want them every week, we'll arrange for that too. One of the reasons that we've decided just to continue online services through the month of August is to give our staff and our volunteers a break. We've got a lot of vacation scheduled through August, and it's been, we recognize that it's been a really busy, difficult, heavy season since March, since COVID hit. And everybody just needs a breather. So we're hoping that through the month of August, staff and volunteers are able to get some rest and recuperate so that come September we can consider reopening. Um, so The other reason, of course, that we are not reopening right away has to do with some technical things regarding recording. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But early to mid September, we hope to start having people back into the building on Sunday mornings. We've got a tentative date of September 13th, but it could be the following week, September 20th. Um, we will be continuing to do online services even after we reopen on Sunday mornings the building. Online services will continue, and they will continue indefinitely because we believe this is a really important avenue of ministry in the 21st century, and a way not only to reach new people but also to provide our services to those of you who are shut-ins or people who are away on vacation, that they can still remain connected, or even, get this, our university students. So that's another thing that we're doing. We're recognizing that as students graduate, we've got a huge graduating class this year. They often go off and scatter into various places, and you kind of wonder and pray and hope that they'll get connected to a local church. Now we're able to continue to hope that they'll get connected and pray that they'll get connected to a local church, but also maintain a connection with them online through our online services. So we're excited about what that could look like in terms of online connecting and small groups and watching services together and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. When we do gather together again in the building, we will be broadcasting the service. It will when people are watching online, they'll be watching a live or partially live broadcast from our building with a live studio audience. So if you're coming on Sunday mornings in September, when we reopen the building, you'll be part of basically a kind of a live studio audience atmosphere, and hopefully we'll make it as natural as possible and as much like church that you knew and loved as possible. All that being said, church will not be meeting in person on Sunday morning, will not be the old experience that it was before. There will be social distancing in place. Masks will be mandatory for all people. A limited number of people will be able to be in the building. We hope to set up overflows in other places in the building if more people want to come than what we can accommodate in one space. We will not be able to gather in the lobby before and after the service for coffee time unless we socially distance, which we can look at how that might work. There's questions about what children's programming will look like as well when that happens. So there's a lot of questions, and it's going to be different. But I know for a lot of you that being together here on Sunday morning is really important, and we hope to be able to create an environment where you'll be able to come and have some meaningful fellowship and a worship experience in the building on Sundays this September. One thing that will be significantly different than normal is that we will not be using our sanctuary, our big main sanctuary. We will be meeting in Discovery Park. That's the children's room down at the end of the children's wing. The reason for that is that our sanctuary is going to be renovated. So if you were at the July 9th business meeting, you would know that we had a vote, a vote positively in favor. I guess it was unanimous, I suppose, although some people may have abstained. But anyway, we had a very, very strong vote to go ahead with renovating our sanctuary. So that means that we will not actually be meeting again in that space until the renovation is complete. When that's going to be complete, I can't say for sure. Possibly, if I was to make a guess, I might say maybe Christmas, maybe sometime in January. So in the meantime, we'll be meeting in the Discovery Park room, which is already set up well with good lighting and whatnot for the online broadcasting. So that's why we're using that space. Plus, it's a pretty good sized space anyway. That's what will be happening in terms of Sunday mornings. The other thing that's really key to this is that starting in September, when we reopen our building, we will also be launching a full slate of in-home small groups. In-home, we call them house churches or whatever you want to call them, but a whole slate of in-home groups that will be meeting and trying to foster an Acts 2 experience, a kind of Acts 2 micro church communities where we fellowship together and worship together and read God's word together and pray for one another and support and encourage one another. So these sort of micro church Bible study things will be happening in conjunction with what I'm preaching and teaching through the month of September and into the fall. So that's our current plan, and the plans may change. But I thank you very much for your patience and your grace towards us these days. It's not easy to know how to lead and pastor through this pandemic, and we've never done this before, at least not in recent memory and recent generations. So we're learning as we go what this looks like to do and be the church in these new days. I know that many of you are really missing the routine of Sunday morning in the building, and I'm missing it too, honestly. I can't wait for us to be able to fellowship again together in this place as one body. I will assure you that we are, as the leaders here, the pastor and the deacons, we are being led by the Spirit. We are prayerfully making all decisions, and we are listening to what the Holy Spirit is teaching us. We believe that through all difficulty and challenge that God grows us and is speaking to us, and we learn new things. And it's no different right now through this pandemic. So thank you for your love and your prayers for us. We covet your prayers. I covet your prayers as your pastor, as I discern how best to help lead this flock through this challenging time. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, or any comments or concerns. We're very open to hearing those things. We want your feedback. We want to know what you think should be happening. It helps us to know how God is speaking to his people. So hopefully this is helpful to you, and if you have any questions, we're here to talk. Thanks, and God bless.